Hey guys, don't talk about this much on my channel. I'm a football fan, and you may not know that I'm an NBA fan. As you can tell, the Jimmy Butler logo. I'm an NHL fan. I am all that. So, the thing with that is, I want to talk about the wild card. And we got two wild card games that I'll talk about after they're said and done tomorrow. You got the Eagles and the Bears, and the Ravens and Los Angeles Chargers. And I'll talk about my predictions for those games later in the video. But I want to talk about the Colts and the Texans. I don't talk about a lot of football. I'll be talking a lot about the playoffs, updates, and maybe trades this offseason that are major. But I think it was just a disgraceful game by the Texans. It looks like they would come back in the end. They were having some good drives, but they couldn't get it done. And that's what I want to just... I understand. It was the first ever playoff game for J.J. Watt, at least I think, because he was injured in that 2016 season when they went to the playoffs. And I think they beat Oakland with Osweiler. And I think he's on the Broncos or Dolphins right now, or in free agency. But besides 2016, it was Deshaun Watson's first ever playoff game. He had that big injury last year that brought in... Oh, yeah, that was a big injury last year that just brought a lot of... You had Tom Savage and TJ Yates as your backup quarterbacks. Tom Savage came in. I think he had a seizure and wanted to play still. I don't know. I think he did, but he did get injured. TJ Yates came in last 2 or 3 games. Horrible year last year. Watson got injured. It was just a train wreck last year due to Watson's injury. It was a complete train wreck season. But the Hopkins catch that he did versus Pittsburgh last year, that was amazing. But back to the game. 21-7, you were in Houston, where Houston fans were excited. First time in the playoffs since 2016. Got your new young quarterback that's returning from injury from the whole season. Both teams started at a low record. Texans started at 0-3, and then they were 9-3. Ugh. And they had some losing at the end of the season. I know that they almost had a loss to the Jets. They lost to the Eagles, my team. And they beat Jacksonville at the end of the season. You were in Houston. I can understand if you were at the Colts stadium, but if you're at your stadium, home crowd, just getting all pumped up for the game, you gotta play well, and there's no excuses there. I think it's just because they got overly excited because of the 0-3 start and then going and winning all those games. It was just a train wreck at the end of the season. You almost lost the Jets. You lost to Philadelphia. You should have completely won that game. And that helped Philly go to the playoffs. Wentz got injured, and you're playing Nick Foles. I understand he won the Super Bowl, but he was playing all those games at home, and if Foles was playing the 2011 Eagles, he wouldn't have won that game. It was a disgrace it was a 21-7 game. They looked like they were coming back at the end. They were throwing the ball, but when Watson threw that pick on 4th and 4, that, completely set the tone for the game. And then Eric Ebron had a touchdown. I think Marlon Mack had a touchdown. And I think they had the game 21-0 going into half. They got a touchdown. I think Lamar Miller might have got it. I don't know. But now on the Colts side of things. Colts 1-5 to start in the year. They got Frank Wright from Philadelphia. Last year, he won the Super Bowl with Philly. All understood there. Went 13-3 in the year. You're coming as a head coach. You're starting at 1-5. You move through the season. You got a good win over Houston in that point. You got a major win for Dallas, crushing Dallas 23-0. That was a train wreck by Dallas. Disgusting playing by Dak Prescott. It was nothing there. Then you had a comeback game versus the Giants. Looked like it was Giants all day. And then you come into the game. And last season, Luck was injured. That was a train wreck season, just like the Texans. Watson got injured. Whole train wreck happened. Jacoby Brissett started. He was traded from New England, and they went 4-12. Now they're coming back with Luck, goes to the playoffs, and beats Texans. Beats Houston. Now you're heading into a game versus Arrowhead that, remember last year, versus Tennessee, you blew that game. I think it was a little bit Darrelle Revis' fault for not trying to pick the ball. He just batted it when Mariota was right there. And I was voting for the Chiefs in that game. I'm not a big Titans fan. I know they didn't make it this year. I don't like Mariota as a quarterback. I don't think he's good. He's like a Ryan Tannehill. He has good games and bad games. And Rashad Matthews, I don't even think he's on the team. Derrick Henry, he's a really good running back. And then you have Kevin Byard. You have Malcolm Butler that joined the team. Then you had Lewis that came from Belichick and all them. That was... So, from the Chiefs, I really feel good for the Chiefs and the Colts matchup because you have Colts coming off of a 21-7 win in Houston. That is a tough environment. And now you're heading into Arrowhead where it was like a Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl 51 all over again. Going there, I think it's going to be a close game, but I don't think Luck at a 9-7 team. They played good today. T.Y. Hilton had good catches. Marlon Mack played good. I don't think they can get it done in Arrowhead due to the stadium. My score prediction for going to Arrowhead now, I think because that's what they said. They're going to Arrowhead. I think the Colts are going to have a good game. I think it's going to be a 28-24. So now moving into let's move back to the Texans. Now you're looking forward to next season. I don't think they re-sign Tyrann Mathieu. And that's a concern because their main success this year has been getting Tyrann Mathieu, getting J.J. Watt back. Clowney has been better this season than last season. Hopkins, he got injured like the last minute, okay? That you can't say that affected the whole game because it was the last minute of the second half. The first half. You can't say that affected the whole game. It was just not good playing. It was not good playing by Houston. It was a whole team effort. Hopkins had some good catches, and Lamar Miller played good. It was just because the pick they threw, the defense wasn't playing good. Why it went off sides in the beginning. And the refs were horrible in that game, I'm telling you. There were so many things that could have affected the game. There was a face mask on Deshaun Watson. There was a major pass interference on the Texans that never got called. But a lot of people wanted Luck to sit at the end. That wasn't a good thing. He never sat, but the Colts at the end of the game, they were just thinking of Arrowhead advancing because it was 21-0. You let Houston go down and score. They had major good drives. And it was just not something. It was just a train wreck the whole game. I understand. It's a young team. It has a lot of young stars. But you gotta understand, you have to, you're playing the Colts and you're at home and you have all your crowd there. I think that they thought they could get an easy breeze win versus the Colts because they're 9-7 and they're just the Colts. The Colts are now a contender now. Those 7-9 and 4-12 seasons are over. It's now time for the Colts and Andrew Luck to come out of their shell. They're playing good. They were good in the Manning era. Then when Manning went, nothing good came. Just nothing. So now, looking towards next season, for this division, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Colts and Texans. You have major contenders because Jacksonville could get their quarterback in the offseason. Tennessee is Tennessee. They have their up and down years. Colts, they made the playoffs by a smidge, but I think they will be better next year because of the major win that they had. And if they beat Kansas City, that will be another major thing. And Jacksonville, after last year, it was a lucky year for Bortles. The whole Jags team is good. You have good defense, you have receivers. Even you lost Allen Robinson last year. That really didn't affect anything. And many people saying it's major, but it's really not. So the Jags are getting better if they get a quarterback this offseason. Titans, contender, so the Colts, and so the Texans, and the Jags. This is going to be the new division in the AFC. See you guys later. Peace out.